Hello, people on YouTube. Today I want to share a drawing with you, or rather the process of a drawing. It's all about this drawing right here. You can't see it very properly, I know, but you're gonna see it in the video, so no worries. So this is what the video is about. Also, I started streaming on Twitch, but I'm gonna get into that later. So, let's get into the video. So with this video, I wasn't really sure if I should film or, record the entire process of the underdrawing, meaning the part where you just draw the basic construction of everything with pencil, because that's the most boring part, and also the camera quality, as you can see, is not the best for these clips. It gets better later on when I get in with the ink. But yeah, at this stage I was still figuring things out, especially with the camera and everything, because that's new for me. I'm a newbie. Actually, I'm a terrible noob when it comes to recording anything on screen. Not on screen, but recording in general. So, as you could see in the beginning, I had my little sketch pad here that I set up right in front of me, where I have like all my ideas sketched out, how the drawing is gonna look, how everything is gonna be proportionalized. Is that a word? I guess it is. And if it's not, it's now. So I have also some reference on my desktop at this point. And at this stage, the construction stage is the most important one for these pen and ink drawings, because obviously when you go over with ink, it's very hard to redo something with the proportions are off or anything. So the construction, the basic construction of the thing that you're drawing is the most important stage, but also really boring, because you're figuring, as you can see, I'm erasing a lot here, so you're figuring a lot of things out. But yeah. Also, I'm drawing with a B pencil here, a pencil with the, I think, grade it's called, grade B. I don't like to do the underdrawing with pencils that are too hard. I know that there are many artists who prefer like these really hard pencils, because you don't need, when you just lightly sketching, it's gonna come out really lightly, and if the pencil is a little bit softer, it's gonna smudge a little bit more, but I prefer softer pencils. So now that the underdrawing is done, also with a lot of unnecessary details, I'm going in with like a standard ink pen, that you get everywhere. It's the Staedtler 0.1. I'm also drawing with the Staedtler 0.3, and what is it called? One of my favorite pens. It's gonna come in later. I think I'm gonna show it to the camera. I'm not sure. But it's called a V5 Hi-Tecpoint by Pilot. A 0.5 that, doesn't really have like a felt tip like these Staedtler ones do. It has like a metal tip that releases like this liquid ink onto the paper, and it looks really good. It's great for some, darker spots on the painting. Let me take a sip of water. So, after this stage is finished, just the basic outlines and everything, after the construction is finished, and then I go in with ink and I do all the outlines of all the important things that I want to keep, I start to erase all the graphite, and then the drawing is going to look the most boring, the most plain, because then there are no highlights, there's no shading, there's just line work, line art, I think it's called. It looks pretty basic and boring at that stage after you erase all the graphite. Yeah, but that's how it is. Also, if there are some details that are gonna come in, like here you can see on the arm some of the veins and whatever. This is the stage to do it, not necessarily on the underdrawing where you're drawing with a pencil like I do. I get way too detailed and way too carried away with the details in the basic construction of the figure. Yeah. My favorite part about this drawing was definitely drawing the fur. That was the most fun. But we're gonna get to that later, I think, here in the video. Because drawing fur is fun. It's a lot of fun. Actually, drawing hair in general is one of my favorite things to do, to draw. Now I'm just gonna go back in here with some of the pencil and get some of these cables here in the background. Get them drawn in and finished and make sure they're also looking good, although they're not my favorite thing to draw. Not at all, like cables and everything artificial. I don't really like to do that, you know. They look a little bit wonky and not so, you know, like cables look, you know what I mean? But it doesn't matter. I tend to shade them in a really good way, and so it ends up looking quite alright. But to get back to the fur and the hair is, as I said, one of my favorite things to draw because it's so organic. It really flows, you know. You can really see how it naturally, you know, flows on the body, you know. Now I'm gonna come in with this V5 that I told you about earlier, the liquid ink thing, and as you can see, it gets really dark. So here, the big shadow here in the mouth of the creature, I did that with the V5. And now this gray pen is it's also a Staedtler pen. No, it's not a Staedtler pen, it's a Faber-Castell pen. Right, it's like a fancy Faber-Castell pen that I have. And now the really fun part of the drawing begins. This is my absolute favorite part. I mean, you can see how awesome it looks on the video sped up like this. All the shadows, all the fur, and at this point, you know, I'm just basically drawing out the fur with the pen, and then I'm gonna come in later and create some way more darker spots on the fur. Give it more depth, more shadow. And yeah, as you can see, when you have like one way, or if you have figured out one basic way to draw hair or fur, it gets really easy. And when you're drawing something animal-like, like this, a thing that is completely covered in fur, it gets easy after a time when you figured out a good technique. You know, it's the same with drawing trees, you know. When you have like one good technique to draw the leaves, you just apply it to the rest of the drawing and gonna be fine. Make sure the shadows are all being created in the right place, and that's gonna look good and also create some depth. I was having some trouble with the ear, though. I was having some trouble with the ear of the creature because I felt like it wasn't standing out enough as it should be, because after all, it's not, you know, a flat thing on the head, it's standing out. And so I was trying to create a shadow or something. I don't know how well it worked out, but you can definitely see that it's an ear and it doesn't look too bad, so it's alright. And yeah, this stage is so awesome because you can see how well one point of the drawing is already looking, and then you can't wait to, you know, see the other part of the drawing also looking good like this. And there we just saw me draw some hair inside the ear. And when you look closely, you can see like a spiral almost. The hair is like flowing in a spiral. When you look at someone's head and you see, I mean, don't stare at people's heads. That's weird, but when you look at someone's head and you see the way the hair is growing, you know, like it's growing in like some sort of spiral and then spreading all over the entire body. of an animal or a person's head. And there you just saw a close-up of my trusty fancy Faber-Castell pen, because I'm a snob. I'm really snobby. No, I'm not, but sometimes more expensive pens are also better, you know. Like, I like this Faber-Castell pen way more than I like the Staedtler ones. The Staedtler ones, the ink is like a little bit, it gets a little bit gray. Like, I would never do really dark spots that are in the shadow a lot with the Staedtler. You know, the Staedtler is good for drawing line art and to do some basic shading. And this V8, V8, the V5 from Pilot and the Staedtler, not Staedtler, the V5 from Pilot and the Faber-Castell, so this one that I'm drawing right here, and the gray one are the ones that I use the most for shading, and the Staedtler is just for some line art and some outlines, basic shading, and yeah. So at this point I think I already started streaming. Like, I was recording this with my phone, and then I was also recording it with my webcam and streaming it live on Twitch and having a conversation with a person that was watching it. Was really nice. I want to stream more often. It was like my first real stream, or my first longest stream. I did a stream before, but it was like more of a test stream. It was like my first real stream. I think I streamed like 2 hours, and that's a long time for me. Yeah, and there finally all the cables in the background are finished. The cables always give me a headache because I want them to look like individual and make them stand out a little bit. Sometimes it's difficult, but I always work around it, and they'll look good in the end. They're just there to look good. Getting to the end of it, and at this point I was kind of worrying about the background, or what I'm gonna do with the background of this drawing. But I also figured that out. I did some basic charcoal background. You're gonna see it very soon at the end of the video. And here you can see my stream overlay. This is how my streams look on Twitch. I have my microphone here. On the left you can see my Instagram and some previous work. Of course, when you watch it on Twitch, it's not gonna flow through so quickly. It's just because the video is sped up. But yeah, I have a preview of my previous work on my Instagram. And I'll just chat with people, you know? Just having a conversation, listen to some music in the background, and just draw, chill, and yeah. I would love for you to drop by once in a while. Okay, good. So that was it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you took something away for your own drawings. Check out my Twitch channel in the description. Also my Instagram, my Redbubble, all of that will be in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Please give a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see more. And I'll see you the next time. Thanks. Bye.